So we are going to be making some shafts for Turkish spindles today. So I did live stream earlier today making these. I've got probably about 40 I need to make between today and tomorrow. So let's just dive right in. Hey guys, welcome in. We are going to be turning some shafts on the lathe today. So we're basically just doing a bunch of spindles. Burnishing with some wood chips. We're going to add some wax. There you go, Scoot. You're number one. So these shafts are going to be for some 3D printed ones. So these are not the correct arms, but it's fine for showing it. Spin. So these are hard maple. This is a story stick. It just has some dimensions, some lines on. You can put it on and then just transfer those lines over. That way they're all going to be very similar in size. Here's a few that I've made. So if a shaft happens to break, it's not the end of the world. Have a good one. Add a little paste wax. So I planned on doing some CNC work today, but I found that the compression bit that I have is very dull and it is binding. So ordered a new one, so we're gonna have to wait a couple of days. So I'm using these spanners, these wrenches as calipers. Does anybody have some exciting plans this weekend? I think I might take Sunday off. We got a fiber show coming up in Asheville, North Carolina. So we're getting ready for that. We got like a week left. And then I got hit with a wholesale order. Which is going to be sent to a hotel room in New York. Rhinebeck is coming up. It's a really big fiber show. We do not go to that show. It's not one of our shows. It's a big one. So I'm in Wisconsin, sending stuff to a hotel room in New York for people who live in California. this is my day job. Usually making with Scott, I do projects. Usually scroll saw, some lathe stuff, just basic kind of beginner stuff. I'm going to be adding some 3D printing, some laser engraving, some CNC to it as well. Maybe some sublimation. Hello! Unfortunately, I only speak English. So yeah, I'm going to start back with project videos in November. Fall is pretty, it's my busy season. Just to show you how they work. So these are for spinning yarn. So this is what came before the spinning wheel. And a lot of people are just like, people still spin yarn? The answer is yes. Yes, they do. It's a post-apocalyptic, life skill. Right, CJ? Yeah, it's strange how some things that used to be chores, now that you don't have to do them, they're enjoyable. It is, it's zen. Once you get the hang of spinning, it's just awesome. It takes a while, you gotta build up some muscle memory in your hands. Spinning is just all about drafting, and that's defining the thickness of the yarn and how much twist goes into it. So this is top. We'll just call it robing. So a sheep got a haircut. They picked out the nasty bits. They gently washed it to get rid of the lanolin. Then they combed or carded it, so all the hairs are facing the same direction. So, right here is just a smaller one. This is called my Turkish Delight. It's basically a glider Turkish with some laser engraving on the top with a Turkish motif. So I'm just going to spin a little leader here to get me to the top. Spin the spindle, and with your hands, you draft. And then you store the yarn on the spindle. I'm going over 2 under 1. This spindle has not been sanded or balanced yet, which is one I made a shaft for. That was here. So I'm doing a short draw. There you go. So typically you would spin a single and then you go back and you would ply it to make it thicker. So I'm just going to show you what it looks like as a chain ply. So basically I'm just making like a crochet loop here. So now we have 1, 2, 3 rather than 1. So you always ply the opposite direction that you spun it in. There you go. So now we have plied yarn. I would wet set this, and then it would be ready to be used in all your yarny goodness, you know. Whether you're crocheting, knitting, weaving, macrame, I don't know, yarn stuff. It's a beautiful thing. It really is. It silences the voices in your head. It's the original fidget spinner. All of the above, yeah. Yep, so I've been making these full time since 2012. I make a bunch of different spindles. I think my Turkish are the most popular, but I do top whirls, I do foreign spindles as well. I've made a ton of Scottish spindles, Russian spindles. After SAF, I plan on working on some Tibetan spindles as well. So yeah, Snyder Spindles, this is my day job. Thank you. There you go. Yeah, so these Turkish spindles, the whole Turkish spindle thing kind of encompasses a lot. I would think a lot of people want to call them cross-arm spindles, but then not everybody uses that term. You know, these are more Mediterranean, they're smaller. A lot of the Turkish spindles are really, really big. It all depends on what fiber you're using. So what I really like about the Turkish style spindles is you store the yarn, you wrap it around the arms. Most other spindles you wrap around the shaft. So if you will need to get like 4 ounces on here, you'd need a really long shaft in order to accommodate having that much space. And the coolest part is when you're done, you pull the shaft out, the arms come apart, and then you have a center pull ball. Where if you're like on a top whirl, you'd have to either make a lacy Kate and have multiple spindles, or you'd have to remove it and then wrap it onto something else before going to the next step. So it's kind of a time saver. Sorry, my trigger finger is just really yelling at me today. So I'm just burning in some decorative lines. This is just some picture frame hanging wire. I took 2 strands off of it and then applied them together to give me the thickness I'd like. A lot of people use guitar strings. They last longer, but I got a lot of this wire, so. Got a little wax out there now. Most people are going to be spinning wool on these, so they'll get a little bit of lamb out of them. Alright, so we are starting out. I order this doweling from the manufacturer. They make it per order. It hasn't been sitting on a shelf for years and years. I do order it a little bit oversized so I can true it up. So we're going to start with a roughing gouge. Now, it's a wrench or spanner, whatever you want to call it. Fits over the top. I know we're on size. That little sanding operation is really just to sand this taper here. So when you put the spindle on, it locks in to that taper. So you can see I'm moving the whole lathe with the taper, with that locked in. So we got good contact. Yes, the chuck is self-centering. It's a 4-jaw. It's a Nova G3, I believe. G3 Protect, which just means the metal has coating on it so it doesn't rust. So if you're turning a lot of green wood, it's got a lot of moisture in it, a lot of water, you know, your chuck can get rusty, so they have a coating. You know, if I was making like a magic wand, being perfectly straight they don't have to be perfectly straight, but this is a tool.
I just sent an email to Clemens.
Okay.
I told them that we can do it, but it's going to have to go out, I think, like by Tuesday in order to get there to them because...
Yeah. That's fine. We'll have it done.
Are those 6 or 7?
These are 7.
Can I take them?
You have to sand the bottoms, yeah.
Yeah, I will.
Yeah. How many are there?
9, 10, 11,
Dozen?
12.
Okay. I might be able to get them all done today.
Yeah, I was going to say, I mean, we might be able to get it in the mail tomorrow.
Yeah, but do you want it showing up at the hotel like days early?
Yeah, that's what I want.
Let's see what he says when he hits you back.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
All right. So we're gonna try doing Lambstown, which is in California. It was like a week ago. We're gonna try doing it next year. We're just gonna like load up a suitcase or 2 with spindles and see how it goes. We've never been to the West Coast before as far as selling. So normally when we do a show, we fill up a van with all the tables and all the products. So it's going to be a very stripped down thing. So I discovered today, does anybody know where the Caesar salad was invented? So the Caesar salad was invented in Tijuana, Mexico. And the Italian immigrant, his name was Caesar. Kind of like the German chocolate cake has nothing to do with Germany. The dude's last name is German. Life's an adventure. So this lathe is a Laguna Revo 1216, so it's a MIDI size lathe. So as far as wood lathes go, there's like pen lathes, MIDI, and then full size. It's kind of in between size. So I can turn a 12-inch wide bowl, and the bed itself is 16 inches, but the chuck takes up a couple inches. So. So this also has a pulse width modulation to it. So it's torquey at very slow speeds. Just normal motors, we get a cheap lathe. The slow speeds have no torque. So it's kind of hard to use. Would I benefit from being able to use longer stock? Or would I actually make? No, everything it makes in this region. I used to have a very small workshop. Now we're in a 2,000 foot commercial space. But if I would get a larger lathe, then I would be talked into making larger things for people. I've had larger lathes in the past. I've made enough baseball bats in my life where I'm done with that. It's not big enough to make a pool stick. Yeah, the size is like just perfect for me. This one runs off 110 volts. I do have 220 in this shop, but, you know, I'm not going to be in the shop forever, so. So doing production work, you know, I have everything that I need. We are making shafts for Turkish drop spindles that are used for spinning yarn. So doing production work, you want your tools, everything you're going to use like in arm's length, and you want them in the same place all the time. There we go. I'll put it on swirl so we can spin it. It's spinning nice. So I incorporate a bunch of magnets. So the two wrenches I use as calipers. Hello, my Cyrillic friend. So I got a magnet here for the wrenches. This is my test world on a magnet. It lives there. The burning wire lives there. My pencil lives on the tailstock with the magnet, just so I don't have to search for things. Hey, thanks. Really appreciate it. And it's a lot easier to work in an organized space. My shop's a little messy right now, but my area that I'm working in is kind of organized. So I have a whole bunch of nitty natties to make, some 2-yard wooden nitty natties. Hello. And my compression bit on my CNC machine is dull, so I gotta wait 4 days for a new one to come in. I'm just gonna be on that CNC machine like right up until the time I leave. I'm relatively new to the CNC. I wasn't planning on really getting one until November, but I got one I got it like a month ago. I'll figure it out. If I can find a compression bit that I like, I'll order multiples. But I just don't want to have, a handful of ones I don't like. Hey Danny, how's it going? So I think probably Monday or Tuesday I'll be done with the Turkish spindles, and then I'll focus on top rolls and some Russian supported spindles. I think we leave on Tuesday. Not this Tuesday, but next Tuesday. To go to the show. Angela, how's it going? So we'll walk through the next one. Hello! So November, I'm going to start recording project videos again. It's just doing this stuff. It has me tied up right now. I am so sorry, I only speak English. Hey Joseph, how's it going? Welcome in. So we are making shafts for Turkish drop spindles. So they look like when they're done, and they're used to spin yarn. So here's an example of one that I've spun some yarn on. Hello. All right, this one, I slowed down a little bit, is not straight. You can see how far that's off. So we're going to try to true that up. So I'm taking my skew. This is, it's not a skew, this is my roughing gouge. I'm just taking material off. Hey Sanjay. Yeah, it's cleverly hidden though. So I do have some lines drawn onto my tool rest, which tells me where the end of the spindle is, where the end of the taper is, and then the entire length. Now I'm using my spindle gouge just to bring it down to the final size. Going to sand the taper here. Now I'm going to back off the tailstock while it's still running so we can look at this to see if we got that wobble out of it. A little bit of wobble, you see that? That's not good. So, this one is going to be going into the fireplace. Well, you can see when they made it, it was got a flat spot on it. So, you know, there's a lot of internal stresses in wood. And these were just made on an automated machine. So we're not going to get too much. We're not going to get down on ourselves too much about a few not working out. Yeah, so this is my day job. I do sell them. I do use them as well. I enjoy spinning yarn. It's very relaxing. So I have made tens of thousands of these. I've been doing this full time since 2013. You know, spinning, once you get the hang of it, it's just zen. So, I hate to do this, but... So, it's kind of my winter projects. These here, these four here, sorry, it's hard to see. They're Mayville wheels, Frank Fell wheels. I am going to rebuild them and then sell them. So that's kind of, when things slow down a little bit, I can focus on that. Most of my spinning wheels are here, but they're in the front room, and I got one at home as well. Lewis, I only speak English, man. I don't know what happened to my ceiling. This building was built in 1900. It's got a tin ceiling, and the paint's falling down. This is a space that I rent. Well, yeah, it's been, in America is basically bullshitting. Yep. Yep, same here. Yeah, it's a nice little setup. Yeah, same here. Totally misread that. Yeah, so usually about once or twice a week, I'll remove any paint that's coming down. Yep, so this building here is about a 5-minute drive away from my house. It's one of those old downtown buildings where they're all like right next to each other. So I live in a little town. It's a very dead downtown. If it wasn't for the public library and the bar, I don't think we'd have any traffic at all. But you tell them in Wisconsin, because there's a bar on the corner, and they're going to be opening a bar on the other side of me as well. Which is great, except for, you know, I don't drink. So just to try to bring it into perspective, across the street they have a smoke shop, very, you know, hemp-based THC, called the Blessing Flower. It went out of business. To tell you how busy this downtown is. You can't keep a head shop open. What's going on? What's the stuff in the tin? This is paste wax that I've allowed to dry out a little bit. Now, how many are there? What's that? Okay. Okay, but I need more for us. Yep. So me and my girlfriend work together. What's that? Yep. It's good. I got a lot of top roasts, I guess. Maybe the bar will have karaoke. That'd be fun. We haven't sang karaoke in years. Actually, the bar that's open on the corner, they have really good food. But it's like we never think about going there, you know. They don't open till... If they were open for lunch, that'd be amazing. But, you know, they open at like 4 o'clock. So, by that point in time, I'm ready to, you know, get my day done and go home. Maybe in the winter time, we'll mosey over there, order stuff for takeout. Yeah, we've been here over a year. Yeah, We have a 3-year lease. We've been here just a little over a year. And it's been amazing. Before this, we were working out of our house in a shed outside. Alright, so we've been focusing on 7-inch shafts, but I was just informed that I have enough. How many of these do I need to make? Pretty much an infinity's worth. I'm going to switch over to 6-inch. I have these that need arms yet, shafts work. So for today, if I can get another 10 done, I'll be happy. So I'm guessing I have probably made about 30 or 40 today. Not in this stream, I was streaming earlier as well. Do they break during use very often? You know, during use, no. A lot of the replacements come from dogs and cats chewing on them, or them getting crushed in like project bags. But if you take care of them, they're delicate, but I've never broke one in normal use. I do suggest like people that are overseas. I'm in Wisconsin. I'm in America. So like people in Australia, I suggest buy an extra shaft because the shipping's going to be so much anyway. You might as well have one on hand. So why do we need to make so many? Because people buy them. Because I'm making actual spindles. I'm making the full contraption right now. I have a festival coming up towards the end of the month in North Carolina. Plus, what sort of wood am I using? These are hard maple. So we do festivals. The one coming up is going to be my last one for the year. We do limited wholesaling. Basically, we're not taking on new customers. We're just taking on the people that we have. And then we also sell. We got Etsy and our own website. I do make the shafts out of exotic woods as well. But for the most part, I stick with maple. Hey, that's why I'm here. Ask away. We'll pull up Etsy. So I've had 26,000 sales on Etsy. That's the kind of stuff I make. We're actually making those right now. And I do sublimated ones. So that's a sublimated disc that's set into the top row. Is there a preferred type of wood for this application? Well, for these shafts, I prefer hard maple because it's got very small pores. So if you go with like hickory or ash or let's say red oak, any oak, they have larger pores. So instead of being smooth, they would have a whole bunch of lines. Because if you think about wood, think of it as a bunch of straws. And the bigger the straw, the more obvious it's going to be. So you've seen a piece like oak furniture on the end of it. It's got those really huge dots. I don't make them out of black walnut. I'll make 4 1/4 inch, really tiny ones out of black walnut. I won't make larger ones out of black walnut because over time, black walnut is known to warp pretty easily. You know, if somebody wants, you know, one made out of ebony, that's perfectly fine. But they're going to be paying for ebony. I mean, you could take a $20, $30 spindle, make out of ebony is going to jump up to $100. It's just, you're paying for the wood, you know. There's a maker in, I think, Lithuania that uses pine. The only reason I know that is because I didn't have to. I've made replacement shafts for those spindles for people out of maple because they break them. Oh, this is my full-time gig. Me and my girlfriend both do this full-time. So this channel here is more making with Scott's more about other projects, but I don't have time to be, you know, designing whatever, a charcuterie board or something else right this second. So I'm live streaming production. And next month I'm going to start recording recorded content, actual videos, doing scroll saw stuff. Lathe stuff, laser engraving stuff, 3D printing stuff, CNC stuff. Oh, I love what I do. I worked in factories for almost 20 years. So not having to punch a clock, do my own thing. I get to see some of the country, like in a week, I'm gonna hop in my car and drive from Wisconsin down to North Carolina for a show, you know, hang out with people, get to know, make some friends, and you know, a good show, you can make you can make in one weekend what it would take a month to make online. It's not like I'm trying to sell pork rinds in front of a synagogue. People are going to this festival for this kind of stuff. So it's very niche. So I really can't go to a normal like craft show. It's got to be a fiber festival. And I have always enjoyed working with my hands. Yeah, I had woodworking classes in the 4-H, and I took woods in high school. Alright, dude. Get some sleep. And I do sell quite a bit to Australia. Now, not so much, but before the whole tariff craziness happened. Australia was like my third largest, second or third largest international country. After Canada. But same thing. Right now, my international orders have slowed to almost nothing, and I can't blame them. This size, I actually have arms for. Yay! That's good. Yeah, I know people who make wooden pens for a living. No matter what, if you find something very niche, as long as there's a market for it, and if it's something you enjoy using to boot. Yeah, it's kind of silly. You go to festivals and stuff, and there's people that, want to take pictures with you and want you to sign things. It's just a little bizarre. You'll get people who come up and they can't talk. I gotta turn my fan on. Come on. I turned my fan on and my TV shut off. That I'm using to monitor the chat. This one has some pitting on it. Should be alright. Alright, I'm just about out of wax here. Let's chuck this. So I'm throwing quite a few wood chips at the top here, so we're just going to lighten that up. So I'm using min wax, paste wax, finishing wax. So there is a solvent in here, so that's why I keep it sealed in here, and then I will just put a reasonable amount, not even, just a little bit in here. That's enough to last me a couple days. Keeping it in the tin slows it down from drying out too fast. just joining us, we are making shafts for Turkish drop spindles that are used to spin yarn. This is my day job. Usually making with Scott is more about project videos, scroll saw, beginner, lathe stuff. So I'll do production streams. We're just kind of, we got one more festival to do, and then we'll be heading, well, we're going to be going to North Carolina. We're in Wisconsin. We got one festival, and then we're done for the year. And then I don't have another show until January. So that frees me up to keep busy during the Christmas rush. But I don't have to be constantly making stuff 8-10 hours a day. This piece, the grain is cutting across. Which isn't good. You need the grain to be running perpendicular to the shaft. Otherwise, by the time you brought that down to a 1/4 inch, it'd be delicate. You could just like snap it. Well, guys, I think I'm going to call it a stream. It's time for me to take a break. Do some cleaning and then go home. I appreciate you guys hanging out with me. Thank you guys so much for the follow. Much appreciated. Like I said, once we get done with this show, November, I'll start making normal recorded project videos. So. I hear you, Patrice. I need to get out of here, too. Tell me you're making Christmas presents. Heck yeah. Middle of a quilt. I gotcha. You have a good one, too. All right, guys. We'll catch you later. Have a good one. And remember to spin fast so you can die warm.